Okay, this is my scary story about the time I tried to take over for Ogopogo the Beast and it ate me up. It ate me up and there was no shrimps to give me a secret question. It was just eating up time. Okay, so you see, I made a deal with Ogopogo when I was finding out who was stealing bookmarks from my kid's bookmark business. You remember that? Well, anyways, that was a real business, and someone was stealing bookmarks from my kid's bookmark business, and it was in Kelowna. So when you go to Kelowna, you have to make a deal with Ogopogo. I mean, that's pretty much a fait accompli, as it were. So anyway, uh, I didn't know because I can't fight. I thought I can't punch a beast, and it's an ethereal thing anyway. Like my fist will go right through it, or it'll decide to incarnate 100%, and it'll kick my ass. So I was like, well, what am I going to do about that? I'm a lover, not a fighter. I was like, well, what? Who's someone's in my bottles? Someone's scrounging in my bottles to make a presentation to the Kelowna Town Council. To the Kelowna Town Council. All right, and be like, look, this is the deal. You got to be upfront and honest with everyone. To be like, hey, look, I've made a deal with Ogopogo, okay, and it doesn't want to be your mascot anymore. And it's like, how do you even know you're dealing with the same thing? Because the last time I talked to Ogopogo, said the mayor of Kelowna, excuse me, Ogopogo loved being our mascot. I said, really? Really? It's like, yeah, because if not enough people believe in Ogopogo, then Ogopogo's not going to be real anymore. And I was like, wait a minute, you mean like Santa Claus? And they said, yeah, so I don't know what kind of deal you've got with Ogopogo, but I don't think that's Ogopogo you're dealing with. And that's when I knew I was in big trouble. And I said, well, can I get my money back for the bus bench that I spent the money on the bus bench with my face saying the new face of Kelowna? And they're like, what? No, that's a private company. It's got nothing to do with the city. And I was like, well, it's a city bus. And he's like, yeah, but we contract out the ads to a private company. I don't know what kind of deal you've made with this beast, but you better be careful. Because not only will it eat your body and consume your flesh, but it'll eat your soul as well. And then where will you be? Nowhere. You'll crap out your soul into a soul toilet. Huh? And then flush it away down wherever it goes. Or up. Or through. Wherever it goes. I wish they had told me that. Like before. I had appeared to that school of children. And been like, hey everyone, I can juggle. 2 balls. I'm working on a third right now. Trying to be an advocate for an entire town is tough work. And it made me really realize that Ogopogo could have been doing a lot more than Ogopogo was doing. But then I thought maybe that's how they've been at it so long, is that they really have boundaries and expectations on themselves, and they're not phoning up. They're not phoning up insurance companies. Town council wasn't too happy about it when I advocated giving the entire town back to Indigenous stewardship. They were like, "Oh, we don't want that." I was like, "It's not like you got to leave. You can still be here, but you're just not in charge of the land anymore." There's a tiny eye looking at me, and it's disconcerting. Someone drew a picture of my kid. They painted a picture of my child and gave it to my father-in-law, and now it's staring at me from the distance. Yeah, hi, I can see you. I can see you. You know what? You're kind of cute. Okay? I thought at first it was giving me creepy doll vibes, but you know what? It's not so bad. It's kind of sweet. Yeah, that's right. Whatever possessed someone to paint a child, a BB-8, a caricature of me with a rock, a pick rock in my hand, an axe pick, because I said I liked rocks. A picture of my wife at the Christmas concert. She's an angel. So Ogopogo wasn't making the calls, but I was. And at first I thought, see, I'm a better mascot than Ogopogo ever was. And then I realized after months and months that I had burned myself out. I burned myself out for what? Depleted, calling insurance companies, trying to get Sunripe to make a t-shirt, trying to get Sunripe to do anything. All right? trying to see how many wines I could line up in a row. What about Summerland Suites? Okay? They had designs on the whole infrastructure. Summerland Suites, pipelines of sweet syrups snaking back and forth across the land. Okay? But they needed Kelowna out of the way. And that's when I realized they had made a deal with a demon. The Summerland Suites had made a deal with the demon to get Kelowna out of the way. I said, are you sure you want to be Kelowna Summerland Suites? But it wasn't really Summerland Suites, the town. It was certain individuals who felt that they owned the town. Kind of like on Dukes of Hazzard, where Boss Hogg was always on real estate, trying to get real estate. They understood. I understand the value of real estate. So I found them a new place. Okay. A new place in the South. We had to break into the United States to make Summerland an American town. Yeah, that's kind of kicking the can down the road. Well, what can you do? There was a spill of blueberry syrup. Before we could ink the finalized deal, the blueberry syrup was all over the animals. Okay, the cranberry syrup was all over the animals. The peach and plum syrup was all over the animals. The animals were all saucy and kind of yummy looking. And you could grill them up with a syrup, with that sticky syrup, and have like a glaze. But you'd have to fur and feather them and then re-glaze their raw meat. I wasn't about to do that to all those animals. So I got the Dawn dish soap like I said I was going to do. And I found out that the Dawn dish soap, actually, they didn't actually use them that much in those where those oil spills were in those birds, and they cleaned it up with Dawn dish soap. That actually that's a falsehood. Kind of like when you give a kid a marshmallow and then you say, if you don't eat the marshmallow in 10 minutes, I'll give you 2 marshmallows, and then leave the room. Well, that's fake. It's only a real test if the child trusts the adult. If the child trusts the adult, they'll wait for the 2 marshmallows, but if they think the adult is a piece of shit, they'll eat that first marshmallow, because you know why? They'll know that adult will screw them over somehow. Lie, cheat, steal. That's right. So can you blame them for eating the marshmallow? And so the Dawn soap wasn't a real thing either. So I had to hold them down in Okanagan Lake, okay, and like scrub away all that sauce. Sugar must have attracted something, because below me was a giant eye and a mouth opened up to consume me. You didn't have to say rim drop. It's just what happens is like they come in through this fissure in the bottom of the lake. This fissure, it's like an anal fissure. Okay, and anyway, I had to get a butt plug in there, a cosmic butt plug. I had to somehow get in there, which I've been in organs before, like when that dragon crapped me out. So I'm not afraid. Well, I mean, I'm afraid, but I mean, I've done it. So, and I survived. So I assume I'm going to survive this time. These dogs. You know, through concrete, you think you couldn't hear dogs, but you can. So I held my breath and I dove down. My head, making my head plunge, quickly. There's metal in it. It goes down fast. Okay, I hit the bottom. The murky depths, okay, the sandy murky depths. I looked around, there it was. Fissure. With like worms and tube worms and stuff. So the energy was there, the chemical energy was there, that these animals were making their own ecosystem down there. Convince whatever it was to follow me down into the fissure. The puckering cosmic mouth. I peed in the water thinking it would attract it, like, you know, those fish that swim up your pee hole. It didn't work. So then I tried doing whale sounds. It sounds like a roller coaster, or a merry-go-round, I should say. Nothing was working. But then suddenly I felt myself being torn apart piece by piece, consumed by beasts. My head was the last thing, detached from my body, falling down into the hole, plugging it up with my own head. Where it was on the other side couldn't come through, and thus I saved the town, and perished as a result. Not the best ending, but an ending nevertheless. Don't try and take over being a town's mascot. It ain't worth it. You can't save everyone, okay? You can't save everyone. But you save who you can. Well, that's okay, I'm being obtuse. You can't save everyone, but save who you can. Whatever that means to you is what it means. I know what it means to me. It means to me, okay, that I do what I can for certain people that I can, like, just within my powers, okay? But if it's not within my powers to do so, me stretching myself thin until I have a paper thin isn't going to, you know what real Ogopogo came and rescued me. There I was in the etheric realm, and it swam towards me etherically in its etheric body, okay? It looked like a giant jellyfish. It doesn't look like an Ogopogo from this angle. But it is a many-angled thing. So anyway, it ate me up. It ate me up, made the transition, and crapped me out into material existence again. So in a lot of ways, I'm the shape of an Ogopogo's butthole. And my old head still there at the bottom of the lake. Okay, keeping everyone safe. A lot of anus, and I understand that. I'm assuming it's just a phase, and I'll move on to something else at some other time. Something Freudian about that. Didn't he? Oh, I'm thinking of oral fixation. I don't know anything about it. Anyway, that's what happened is Ogopogo saved my life. How dare I try and replace it? I was catfished. By an etheric beast, pretending to be something it wasn't. Hence catfish. Boy, I'll never do that again. You'll never catch me doing that again. Okay, so if you try and send me an email and pretend you're Canada Post, I'm not clicking on it, okay? If you say I'm Canada Taxman .69 / click here for all the money, that's not real, okay? I know, and if it's a picture, if someone says to me, "Hi, my name's Veronica XXX," no. Okay, I know you're not real. Misty Mountains? Misty Mountings? I don't think that's a real person. Designed to draw my attention, but you're not a real person, I know that. So haha on you. No one's gonna catfish me again.